What's going on? What's happening? You know what's cracking. It's your boy Drey back with Anthony. And it is right after big as the what? Big as the Super Bowl, man. We are back here just a couple days after the Super Bowl. Super Bowl number 60. Um
60. We getting
may
old,
not be
man.
well thought out as a classic, may not be well thought out as a classic, but I think it was still a very good game. I know that's gonna be the main course, the primary, the main, in the side entree of the show. This is one of the last shows, for a little bit here. But Super Bowl, just a couple
Yes,
days ago, this
sir.
past Sunday. What we got, man? What we got?
Hey, it's a lot of key differences in this game. One difference in the game. Shoot, the Seahawks was able to bring Drake May to the ground. Patriots couldn't get Sam Darnold to the ground. Seahawks was able to stay on the field in key position, certain situations. Patriots punt, 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 punt. Seahawks was actually playing like they wanted to win a Super Bowl. The Patriots just playing like, hey guys, we made it, because even though the Seahawks was not connected on some of them dialed up plays, the fact that you still showing that, hey, we still gonna make these plays, we still gonna try to make these plays, and we here, hey, we gonna use every piece of this field that we can. Another thing, Seahawks was able to run the ball, like I said in the preview show. Patriots weren't, because they couldn't get the pass off, just how physical. And all in all, Seahawks is just a better team than New England, which we all knew coming into that game. So now I will give the Patriots credit, because each playoff game that they played, the defenses got better as the rounds progressed from the wild card round all the way to the Super Bowl. So they did play four top 10 defenses in a row. I would not, if Drake May would have, the Patriots would have won that Super Bowl, that would have made Drake May in his second season. That's a historic run, but that's not the case. This is a second-year quarterback. It's like they didn't trust him, you know what I'm saying? And you got a guy on the other side, third overall pick, 15 in 8 years. He getting a happy birthday text, y'all, by the way. But 15 and since he been in, like I said, 15 in 8 years, so it's just like, hey, go out here and make the necessary plays for us. Now, I will say, it was a few passes that if Sam Darnold would have hit on, Sam Darnold would have been walking away with that Super Bowl MVP. He overshot Jackson Smith and Jigba when Jackson Smith and Jigba was by himself, because he was about to walk into the end zone on that one. The one when Christian Gonzalez just made the play, one of the plays of the game before halftime to prevent a touchdown. That one, if he could have led that a little further, would have hit on that one. The one to Shaheed, downfield, just fingertips off, So, but like we said, welcome to the dark side. Shout out to the Seahawks defense for creating their own identity and not trying to live off past clout. The Legion of Boom coming up with their own name and, like I said, coming up with their own identity and how they put their stamp on things. Like from front to back, best defense in the NFL, and it showed. So hopefully they can build off this. And one of these things too that I touched on, DeMarcus Lawrence played with one organization for 11 years in the Cowboys. First year, go to the Seahawks, you win a Super Bowl. Like I said, you was talking that madness on the way out the door. Like I said, I kind of was a little upset with that. Like I didn't expect D-Law to talk like that, but hey, he was right. Where was the lie told? And Cowboys kind of got exposed in that kind of regard where D-Law goes up there first year, wins the Super Bowl. But yeah, man, it's just the Patriots got a lot of work to do, man. So, but Will Campbell, I don't know if Will Campbell had a welcome to the NFL moment. But if he didn't this whole season, this was the worst time to have a welcome to the NFL moment, man, in the Super Bowl. And then what did I tell you too with Drake May as far as Drake May, one turnover, okay, but if you have multiple, we in trouble, buddy. Had 2 interceptions and a fumble, so there's that. Patriots really couldn't just get nothing going, man. But credit to Seahawks. I'm not finna sit here and make excuses for the Patriots and not give credit to the Seahawks. The Seahawks deserve a ton of credit. There's only one team that, really can get off on the Seahawks. And that was the Rams. And they beat the Rams twice to get there. So, a lot of people call that game, the NFC Championship game, the Super Bowl. And the actual Super Bowl was just a trophy collection for the Seahawks. So, hey, we just here to claim our prize, man. And they just need, you just need to go through a series of events for 4 quarters. But like I said, man, it's just a good day for the Seattle Seahawks fans. Like I said, shout out to John Snyder He looking like a mini Sam Presti right now. Because guess what? Them guys got like $75 million in cap space, so they can. This can be a run that they can go on. They got Sam Darnold for the cheap. Like they got him at a very good bargain. So, but yeah, the Patriots were a product of an easy schedule, as you hate to say it. They had a fourth place schedule last season, so or where they finished fourth place in the 2024 season. So hey, now they got the benefit of playing that schedule. So they worked out in their favor. So they made it as far as they could, but it was a matter of time. And then, like I said, the offense was not the greatest in the postseason as it already was. And the Seahawks, and I called it, I was like, the Seahawks are not going to turn the ball over to where you can get you a few scores off of turnovers like you did in all the other games. So that wasn't going to be the case with the Seahawks. The team is just too complete. Like I said in the the preview show, Seattle was looking like the NFL version of Indiana, man, just stacked on both sides. Like, no matter what you do, you can hit them with the best shot. They gonna hit you with two lethal shots. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what they did. So, and that's pretty much all I got for the Seahawks.
Yeah. I mean, I really, in my opinion, I know you were saying first earlier about Darnold kind of missing on a couple throws. Maybe there being a little more pressure. Well, not pressure, but maybe there would have been a little bit more, I would say, spickle and spackle, more fireworks in the game. But honestly, especially in the first half, it was just a very good defensive game. It wasn't the glitz and glamour of a Super Bowl. And that's why I said, towards the tail end of what you were saying, I hate when people say that, oh man, the NFC or the AFC championship game was a Super Bowl. Like, no, the Super Bowl is a Super Bowl. No matter how it's played, no matter if it's 100-point scored or 10-point scored, it's played how it's played. It's the biggest game of the year. And that is the game where coaches tend to not want to make many mistakes, not take very many risks, not have very many plays where they put their teams in jeopardy. And so because of it, you see a game like you saw Sunday. You see good defensive effort, from both teams. And like I said before, I wanted to side with you the other day on the pre-show with the Seahawks because I felt like offensively and defensively they had a better output. I felt like they had a better postseason, and they, it definitely proved to be right. And that's not to say that the Patriots aren't a good team or that they, won't be back in this same position possibly in a year. We may see another rematch, we may see these combination of teams just like we just saw the Chiefs and Eagles a couple years ago. These are two really good, franchises, built and organized very well, structured very well from top to bottom. The Seahawks, even when they had down years, they really never fell all the way off.
Yeah.
The Patriots,
they
had
were
a couple rough years
last season, which is crazy.
Yeah. And the Patriots just had, we talked about it, what we felt like was a transitional year, losing a coach like Belichick for all that time and then having to find a way to transition into not just any coach, but the right coach. They had to have a bad year, and they knew that. They took that, and they went ahead and dealt with that. But I feel like it was just a really good defensive matchup, and the team that defense made the most amount of plays was going to make the difference. And whether it was early in the game with Seattle constantly putting the Patriots in 3-and-out situations, 3-and-out, 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 3-and-out. And New England was trying to play field position, taking a number of punts that landed inside the 20-yard line. So a lot of long drives, not a lot of points to be had, but no turnovers, like you said, from Darnold in the offense. So that's the difference in the game. And then running the ball, of course, in the biggest game. Defense wins championships. Running the ball establishes a great offense. Being able to pass the ball is just a bonus. A lot of people don't see it that way, but that's the fundamentals of football. And those fundamentals of football is what ended up winning Seattle the game.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're still in great position on both sides of these teams that were in the Super Bowl are in great positions to be here again next year or within the next 2 or 3 years. So, like you said, Seattle having a lot of cap space, New England being very young, you can see a lot, come from that. Like you said, Will Campbell having a rough game. And I think their other rookie guard had a pretty rough game in their biggest game. And, in games like that, that's the ones that you learn from when you have your worst game in the biggest moment. You're able to bounce back from that, get back to that spot. You know how to handle that spotlight later. So, You know, it was like I said, it was a really good game to me overall. I know a lot of people didn't agree with that,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I felt like it was a pretty solid game.
yeah. Because in the Super Bowl, you want all the you want the points, the timely stops, you want all of that in a Super Bowl game. It being the last game of the year, but like when you just a student of the game and you just love the game of football, like you here for that. Like it's only one Super Bowl I can come to mind that just come to grasp as we kind of took it for granted. Super Bowl 53 with the Patriots and the Rams, how that game went for 4 quarters, just knock them out, drag them out, and then Tom Brady does what Tom Brady finally does in the biggest of moments, got his team on the scoreboard finally with a touchdown. So, but in this one, Seahawks was able to they couldn't cash in the way they wanted to. Obviously, I'm pretty sure because obviously by the time if they would have got to like 17 to 20 points in the first half, this game was over in the first half. Like, hey, we just got to come out here and just finish the game the way just get out, keep getting after it. But hey, the Patriots, all in all, the Patriots just like one or two big plays away, down 9-0. Like, hey, one touchdown away, and you got you got the other team on the other side playing a little tight now. But now they still can play a little loose, knowing that the fact that hey, we managing the game well, we getting points on the board, and the defense is still playing lights out. You know what I'm saying? So, and then by the time the Patriots finally let loose, it's kind of too late now. It's empty calorie season now, so it's just like, but it was the pass we was looking for. Is like finally, but then they get a stop actually. Excuse me, excuse me. But then Drake May goes out there and throws just a duck in the middle of the field, and it gets intercepted. So it's just like, hey, that was y'all chance to kind of make a statement right there in that moment. And then after that, Seahawks go down. They just get a field goal, put themselves back up by 2 scores. And then, of course, they call it an interception, but it looked more so like a strip sack. But nonetheless, the defense, that was basically the payoff for the defense for how they played that day. The defense earned that touchdown. It ain't the fact they deserved it or whatever. Right. They earned that touchdown by the way they played throughout the course of that game. So that was a nice little payoff. I wish Kenneth Walker would have got that long touchdown he got. But they got a holding call. But nonetheless, he's the Super Bowl MVP, rightfully so, because we seen 11 years prior with these same two teams. Yeah, we seen that the running back should have been the Super Bowl
MVP that time
in that game. But we know everybody in the world knows how that ended up going. But left no doubt. You know what I'm saying? Running the ball, like you said, just the fundamentals of football just showed.
Efficiently.
Protect quarterback.
Yeah.
Get out the quarterback.
Run
ball. Yeah. Stop run. So and now, like I said, credit to the Seahawks. And this has been like I said, the Seahawks defense, they got their own identity with the dark side, but like this is how the Seahawks played just a decade ago with, hey, before they tried to turn it, make Russell Wilson into a top 5 quarterback. This is how they played. Run the ball. Just smash mouth. We're going to run the ball and we're going to have a great defense with the Legion of Boom with the cover 3 with Earl Thomas in the middle of the field and Cam Chancellor just flying all around, Sherman, all them guys, Bobby Wagner, but like I say, these guys created their own identity. Witherspoon, Amon Warray, however you say his name, D-Law, Leonard Williams, just a bunch of solid core guys. Like I said, that team was very well constructed to actually compete for a Super Bowl, but when you got the household names of the last 5 to 7 years, the Chiefs, the 49ers, Eagles, Bills, Ravens, even a little bit of Detroit coming on, Green Bay after the Micah trade, Seattle's not going to look flashy to the eye of all the betting people. So we're going to go with all the teams that, usually that we presume are the favorites to start the season. So like I said, the 60-1 odds for the Seahawks, and I think the 80-1 odds for the Patriots. So it's just like 2 long shots. And like we doing all this, but still credit to the Patriots defense, man. They tried to hold it for as long as it can, but there's only so much you can do before the other team finally gets out in front and finally breaks one off on you, or your offense finally just puts you keep putting you in bad spots. And so shout out, and then Christian Gonzalez, man, he showed out on the biggest stage. He made plays so. If Christian Gonzalez want to take away anything, like hold your head up, man. You showed up. Like you showed up. Smith and Jibba really couldn't get off. Cooper Kupp made some key catches. So that's about it, man. But like Seahawks made the plays. They didn't make the really explosive plays, but like the fact that they wanted to take the risk of taking a chance and trying to make the explosive play, it shows that you're actually trying to win the game versus what we saw on the other side with the Patriots, just trying to play field position. It's like Vrabel playing a little bit of Belichick ball, but you don't have your Tom Brady out there. So there's that.
Yeah, you can't live like that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you got any way too early predictions for next year? Where we're gonna be in February next year?
Man, yeah, we know what the Super Bowl gonna be. It's gonna be in Los Angeles, SoFi Stadium, second time in like 5 or 6 seasons. But as far as I don't like to do nothing when it comes to that because we still need to see this draft, free agency period, and then on top of that, the schedule release coming in May. So like, only thing I know, of course, the Saints playing in France, and the Cowboys are gonna be in Rio, Brazil. So hey, but outside of making predictions, I ain't really got nothing because, like I said, we need to see the schedule, see where who's playing, who's playing who, and where they playing. By the time the schedule release comes, then and then we get into training camp preseason, like kind of like how we did this past season. How we can get with that. But as far as that, I really ain't got too much as far as that. And then we got NBA All-Star Weekend coming up, so like, kind of want to see.
Coming up soon.
They got the world versus USA, so I think that's a different format, so like that might be one of those things to pay attention to. But once again, hats off to the Seahawks, but like I said, I really ain't got no 2026 predictions. What about you? Saints NFC South champs?
Way too early? Damn, man. Nah. I am going to go way off the cuff and give an entirely crazy prediction, and it will change. I can't tell you that much. After the draft, after schedule release, free agency, all that, I probably will give something different than I give right now. Way too early. In February of 2027, Super Bowl will feature the Buffalo Bills and Dallas Cowboys. That's my dream. That's my dream. I say that off the strength of Josh Allen's shortcomings and y'all franchise tagging GP.
Signing George Pickens and signing George Pickens and going to and like instead of drafting edge rushers, going to get them picks to the Raiders and give Matt Crosby. I can see that, but it's all on Jerry Jones. Sometimes it ain't. The players got to show up when the games come, but like as far as like making championship moves like that, it's all on Jerry Jones, man.
And I can't even really say that after the Micah saga, that going out and making a big splash like that for Max Crosby would be the right move for y'all right now. A nice, trench work. I got a nice front nine. I like it. A lot of stuff that's going, and I like that. You know how I feel about Buffalo too as my backup teams. I do expect the Saints to make the playoffs next year with a positive record, with a very big increase from Tyler Shuck. We are projected right now in the first 3 rounds to go Jeremiah Love, edge rusher, and then one of the better receivers from Indiana from this year. So that type of championship pedigree. Yeah. So, and if in the first 3 rounds we can pull that off, we really can, especially starting with that Jeremiah Love. I think that would be dynamic.
Hopefully, I think one of our picks is, I can't remember where it was, but hopefully, if we don't get Max Crosby, definitely take a Ruben Bain or a Mazador if Mazador declared. You know what I'm saying? Definitely can take one of them.
I think if not, I think y'all should look at Falk too from Auburn.
Catch Falk, yeah.
He's still very developable and wet behind the ears, but I think the player he will become behind great development is going to be big time.
Yeah,
I don't think.
But I think Ruben. It's edge rush, but I think Ruben Bain seems to be more NFL ready because playing under a Hall of Fame coach and Jason Taylor. You know what I'm saying, at his position. All the wisdom he can learn from a Jason Taylor. So yeah, him and Mazador on the other side. So it's just like you would want to take some of those guys. Falk might be like might come in like one of those just raw prospects. He might, I ain't gonna say like late bloomer as far as like the first like 6-7 weeks of the season. Like, man, why did we make this pick? But then as the season goes on, he kind of finds his footing. Kind of like with
you can see where
Donovan Ezraku, the second round pick we had from Boston College. At first it was like, okay, but then like as the season went on, it's like, okay, yeah, now this guy, the game is kind of slowing down for him. He's finding his footing. So yeah, It's just, but the biggest thing with the Cowboys, it ain't even about, trade for Max Crosby. That George Pickens signing must happen. But even with the franchise tag, he's gonna get gonna get the market value, the average market value from the top five, the first highest player and like the fifth highest player, or whatever, at the position. So he's gonna get he might get franchise tag 1 year, 33, 34 million. If he get franchise tag, hopefully they can still kind of work out a deal before the season starts. To where he can be like, okay, I got this 1 year, and then at least I know I got long-term security for 4 years, you know what I'm saying, moving forward. So, yeah. But also, too, though, it's just like...
Excuse me.
I hate to, speaking of quarterbacks, I don't think Joe Milton's the guy, so might need to start looking in the future of replacement for Dak. It might not need to happen. Obviously, the next 2 drafts, it might not need to happen in the next 2 drafts, but 2028. We speaking way future terms now, but 2028, I think that needs to start being putting that on the table. Putting that on the table, yeah. So in 2028, but yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got. I ain't really got too much else. I mean, but we take the celebration. We got a birthday coming up.
Yeah,
it ain't mine.
By the time this comes out, I'll be 31 years old. So I guess it's good to do a little monologue. Why not, man?
See, I got my own. I got my own custom shot glass. I didn't make this, by the way, y'all. It was a gift, and he got the, cheers tequila on YouTube. Just going on YouTube, man. Not the salt. Be a man. Cut. No, I'm just playing. Ain't nothing like that Terramana.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man. All right, let's go ahead and close this out for that liquor start kicking in. So the commercials, man. Were you feeling the Super Bowl commercials this year? I ain't gonna lie, those commercials this year was kind of.
Not at all.
I saw the same AI commercial like 3-4 times. The same played out beer commercials.
They don't even try anymore. Yeah, they don't try anymore. It used to be a really big thing. It's not really a big thing anymore like it used to be when we was kids, man. They just focus on the game. I think people's attention span's so short now that
halftime show.
When the game go to commercial, people go to their phone.
Yeah, halftime show. Like I said, Bad Bunny is not my. It's not an artist that I listen to, but like for that community, he brought a lot of eyes in. The most viewed halftime show, so he set a record. So props to Bad Bunny.
Absolutely.
Also winning a Grammy the week before, so a big stretch for him as far as the last 2 weeks go. So he won a Grammy and then had the record-breaking Super Bowl halftime performance. So, like I said, I ain't finna get into all that other stuff. You got people angry about it, but hey, y'all know it's a capitalist country. So, not to dive too deep into the political statements. So let's go ahead and get up out of here, man.
Man.
But
like, share, subscribe if you're new.
And just leave comments, any feedback, suggestions. We're gonna take a little bit of a hiatus, man. We're gonna come back. We'll be back by the time, I don't know, man, but March Madness coming up next month. So, one of my favorite times of the year. I know that's when we started the whole platform. So that 1 year celebration will be on the way. So look out for little vignettes and little videos of past clips that you may or may have not seen from other episodes that will be put out up until the 1 year. So for that one, we'll probably, we're going to do a little live. We probably go live for that. But, for Drey Davis, for Anthony Light, shout out Raphael, shout out Finn, shout out the viewers, the listeners, however you consume this content. Let me say this, out.
Yes, sir.